Crafty Gemini, and I'm back with another vlog update video to let you know what I've been working on, what I'm making, and what is coming up next. Alright, so for this vlog update video, I wanted to catch you up on kind of what I've been working on, what's going on, and we're talking all kinds of stuff. Quilting, garment sewing, and knitting and crochet. So let's start off with the garment sewing stuff. So I'm currently running my online Charlie bomber jacket class. A lot of you already signed up for it. If you're looking to learn how to make some simple outerwear like this jacket, this is the one I'm making for my daughter. The pattern that we're using is good for 27 different sizes. So kid sizes 2 all the way to 12. It could go boy or girl in that age range. And then the sizes from there go all the way up to a women's US size 22. And the adult sizes are obviously designed for women. So I've made several of these jackets. This is my daughter's. This is where the class is filmed up to right now. So there's currently over a dozen video tutorials, video lessons as a part of the online course that you can watch. And the next step, you can see the waistband is already on here, so I filmed that part. The next step is to install the zipper, the sleeve band cuffs, and the collar, and then the jacket is done. So there are welt pockets right here, so those video lessons are already posted. If that's something that you kind of want to learn how to do and get more into garment sewing, I'll leave a link for you below on where you can go to my online shop to sign up for the bomber jacket class. All right, next is quilting. This is the most recent free video quilt along that I just hosted. Well, I'm still kind of in the process. We're in the final videos now of how to make my samosa quilt top. So it's the samosa quilt along, and the 4th video is already posted where I show you how to piece together the entire quilt top to get it to this step. The next one is I'm going to talk about like quilt batting, things that you can do to finish off your quilt, the quilting, whether you're doing it on a domestic sewing machine or on a long arm quilting machine. I think that one I'm going to long arm quilt, but I'll show you also some ideas of ways that you can finish it off either by hand tying it, hand quilting, or sit down machine quilting. So a lot of different ways to finish your quilt. If you're someone who wants to get into quilting and you feel like you don't have any fancy machines, this is something that you can make from beginning to end just on a domestic sewing machine that can only do a straight stitch. So you don't even have to have zigzag stitch capabilities to make a simple quilt. So keep that in mind, and I'll include a link for that entire video playlist to see if you want to check it out and maybe you want to learn how to make the samosa quilt top. So that's what's going on in my quilting world. Then let's talk a little bit about crochet. I recently, not recently, maybe a month or 2 ago, had started this project for a crocheted cardigan. It's like the striped cardigan. It's by Sorella. And I'll include a link on where you can find the pattern and stuff. There are some different changes here. The stripes were supposed to start higher up, but I got so into it that I just kept going and going. And when I realized I should have introduced the stripe in the contrasting color, I decided to just keep going and just do the stripes at the bottom. So a couple things about this pattern. Quick, pretty easy to whip up. My first real kind of garment like this. And if you know anything about me, I'm a little too impatient to do anything like swatching or checking gauge. I just grabbed a worsted weight yarn that I had enough of the skeins to do this with and just started crocheting. I am going to finish it off. It's way too big, but the yarn I used was totally different from her, so I knew it was already going to be bigger. So I don't really care. I wanted to kind of just prepare myself mentally to tackle a larger garment because really my goal is to knit myself a sweater or a cardigan or something. And knitting for me is just like, oh, it's gonna take forever and the stitches are so small. So I thought, well, crochet is super quick and easy for me to do. So let me make this cardigan style thing in crochet. And so now I think that even if it's just for that purpose, even if I never wear it, I'm now more mentally prepared to tackle some knitting garments, right? Knitted garment projects, or patterns at least. So it's kind of like an oversized cardigan. I haven't even weaved in my end, so it's really big. But I think even if I use the same yarn, I think if I did like a size small, then it would be good. But it's kind of like a cozy up on the couch for a movie night kind of cardigan. Okay, so I'm glad that I made it. I'm gonna finish it off, even though it has like I might not even finish it off because it has like the band that goes around the neckline here, and I feel like it's just gonna add even more. But even like this is fine for just like a house cardigan. I don't want to frog it and take it all apart. So I think I'm just going to keep it like this, weave in the ends and kind of just finish it off to have something quick to throw on, or if I need to run outside in the morning for farm chores, something like that that I can just use it for. So that was a crocheted cardigan. Then you know I've kind of been obsessed with knitting lately, so I will show you my progress on my Easy Goes It shawl that I'm working on. And I jumped. I went from worsted weight all the way to fingering weight yarn. So here's where we are. I kind of had a dilemma with this shawl that I'm really hoping to just be done with it. I started to get to the point where it was getting wider and wider, so I had to change out the cord on my needles. And I was using these wooden tip needles, and I tend to break everything because my hands are super rough with everything. And as I went to twist it to undo the cord so I can change the cord on it, I snapped the wooden tip in two. So I had to set it aside for 3 days. Mind you, I was already hollering because I had to like quickly get a smaller needle, put it on a cord, and kind of scoop up all my stitches because it was like splintering the wood and it was like snagging my yarn. It was kind of an ordeal. But I got it back on. I had to wait a couple days to go to my local yarn shop, and I purchased these metal ones. And I don't know what I was thinking buying these because I read a bunch of reviews of people online, except everybody that was saying they loved these were like legit super advanced knitters. These are Haya Sharps, and they're sharp. I'm someone that when I'm knitting, I kind of push on the tips of my needles to like hold them and get the stitches off. And I literally will have like dents in my pointer finger here from the points. These suckers are sharp and they're super smooth. So it's kind of been a little bit of a learning process for me to stop splitting my stitches because the points are so sharp, and dropping stitches because they're so smooth. I've gotten a lot better now that I've gone bigger or further up in the shawl pattern. But yeah, I don't think I'll be using these, at least not anytime soon, for something like this that I really want the stitches to be on point and not have any mess ups. So Haya Sharps, if you're looking for sharp needle tips that are metal and slip and slide all day long, these are for you, and I'll include a link on where you can find them online. But here is my Easy Goes It shawl so far. I can't wait to block this thing. I'm on the last section, but it's going to be a lot higher, so I still have a ways to go. This is the rest of the ball that I wound up, and the yarn is 100% superwash merino wool. The brand is Ba Yarns, Baah Yarns, and La Jolla, I think it's Lajolla, is the type of yarn. I think maybe that's what they call their fingering weight yarn. I'm not sure. And then the colorway is called Green is the Color, Colour color, spelled like that. All right, so when I have this thing done, I'm going to block it, and I will be back in another vlog update to share with you all what it's looking like then. But I'm happy with the colors. I think I don't really wear shawls, but I just wanted to make something with fingering weight yarn that wasn't like a cardigan or a sweater that was going to take me months. So I started to do this shawl, but now that I'm looking at it, the colors are great. I think it's going to go great with kind of my t-shirt and jeans type of wardrobe because there's a lot of like navies and teals in here that I think will really pull and go well with the dark denim washes and things like that. All right, so that's where we are with that knitting project. Now, my kids have also been bit by the knitting bug, so I'll insert a couple video clips here so you can see in some pictures. My son finished his first hat that he knitted up on circulars. And then my daughter has been working on a scarf for the last week or so, and she's using bulkier weight yarn. She gets a little impatient when she uses worsted weight, so she didn't want to knit anymore. And then when I introduced her to the super bulky on some larger wooden straight needles, she was getting a kind of frustrated with the cord on the circulars. But of course, she asked for the circulars because her brother was using circulars. So I tried to explain to her that he was, knitting in the round for a hat. And so she likes her bamboo straight needles. I was able to find some that were shorter in length so they don't stick out quite as much under her little arms and get too kind of bothersome there. So far she's loving that. And so all three of us get to knit now in the car while my husband is driving to and from, practice basketball games and stuff like that. So that's where we are in the knitting game. We also recently went to my local yarn shop and picked up some yarn. I'm going to make my husband a hat with these. This is Cascade Yarns, Cascade 220 Sport, and they are 100% Peruvian Highland wool in some fun colors. So I will use these, and then I bought myself a couple. These are Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. So it is 50% superfine alpaca and 50% Peruvian wool. And I love, love, love these jewel tones. I have no idea what I'll use it for. I don't think I've worked with alpaca before. Maybe an alpaca blend, but not alpaca and wool. So it's not too scratchy, but still has some nice fuzz to it. If you have ideas on these little skeins, and these are only 50-gram skeins, so they're about 144 yards on each. I don't know what, but you know what we do. We buy stuff just to fill our stash. Then I also got some Malabrigo yarn, which is the bomb. This is their 120 Lotus Rios. Oh, I told you. What? And this was on 2 separate trips that I bought these, but I love these kind of colors. I might mix these. Well, I don't know, because this is a lighter weight than this one. This is their Pure Merino Superwash, and it's the worsted weight, I believe. Or maybe even bulky. It's so plump, you know? And it has these really cool purples and some little pops of blues and teals in it. So I'm really excited to try this one in something. I gotta wind those up into a cake soon. And then I got my hands on some Lion Brand Yarns Velux. I bought this because Sorella, the same girl that designed that cardigan, designed a couple patterns with this, kind of like an off-the-shoulder little tunic dress. And the way that it looked in the pictures looked like it was just super duper soft. It is 100% polyester. There's 150 grams in this ball, and it's categorized as a size 4 medium, so worsted weight, but it's a little bit more plump and super duper soft. Has anybody worked with this? I'm curious to see what all else I can use it for. I see that the picture here has somebody wearing like a cowl, and it looks really soft and fuzzy. And I got it in 2 different colorways. I got a couple different balls just to try it out and see what we come up with or what we try it in. So not sure about that, but I think my daughter would like to use this in something. So let me know if you've used this Lion Brand Velux before in the comments below. I would love to hear that. And aside from that, I've really just been working on the next projects that I'll be rolling out. So one of the things I'm going to be doing after I finish the bomber jacket online course is rolling out another garment sewing online class. So if you have suggestions, maybe you're someone that's in my jacket class and maybe you've made the Westchester Dolman top, which is a free pattern, by the way, that I designed. I'll include a link for it below as well for you. But if you want to see a different type of garment, let me know in the comments below. So far in the bomber jacket live chat that we've been having with students this past weekend, a lot of students were asking for things like knit tops, like t-shirts, pants, some skirts, dresses. So let me know in the comments so I can take that into consideration before I roll out whatever my next online garment sewing class is going to be. Now in the bomber jacket class, I teach you how to make the jacket unlined, which is how the pattern calls for, lined, and reversible. So I'm currently working on one for my son here, which is going to be lined, and you can see the 2 front panels. These welt pockets look amazing. Super, super fun. This blue quilted knit fabric is also going to be for the sleeves. It's this stuff. And we have this for sale in our online shop. If you're in the jacket class and you need some kits, we do have jacket kits set together there in our online shop. So this blue fun quilted knit is for the pockets of his jacket and then also for his sleeves. So I'm excited to see how that's going to look. And because my kids are super funky like me, my son chose this hot pink velour, stretch velour lining for the inside of that bomber jacket. So I will keep y'all posted on how this turns out, but I think it's going to look great, super funky, and most definitely one of a kind. Aside from that, we have this quilt along going. I'm getting ready to work on the next quilt along, so I'm going to be doing another one for my 5-inch slicer next. This one uses my 10-inch slicer ruler, which is a ruler that I designed several years ago to be used specifically with 10-inch by 10-inch square pieces of fabric. There's a bunch of different blocks. This is not just the only one that you can make with my ruler. You get a free video library of archived tutorials for different ways that you can use the ruler. So the next free quilt along I do is going to be using the 5-inch slicer. So if you're one of those lucky people out there who has both rulers, then you definitely want to be on the lookout because that is going to be another fun project we'll work on. Then in quilting fabric, I have needed to kind of refill my stash. I didn't have a lot of solid, so I've recently been checking out these bundles online. I'll include a link on where you can find stuff like this if you're someone looking for solid fabrics. And I believe these are all half-yard cuts that I got. Yep. Just to kind of build up a stash. Sometimes you need a little bit of contrasting fabric. You want something when you're working on applique quilts, or even in my quilt bindings, I love to throw in a little pop of color. So I bought these bundles so I could have some good variety because, believe it or not, my stash has been dwindling. So we bought some fabric, we have yarn, new online classes. Let me know what else you want to see from me. Do you enjoy these vlog update videos? And what kind of online classes would you like to see me offer next? That's it for this week's vlog update video. I hope you enjoyed it and you got to see a little bit about all the crazy stuff that I always have my hands in. Thanks again for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it that thumbs up, share it with your crafty friends, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.